this year's Democracy Day, the federal government has declared Wednesday, June 12 as a public holiday. The Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, congratulated Nigerians on the celebration in a statement today, as announced by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Dr. Aishetu Indayako. Tunji-Ojo encouraged Nigerians to uphold the principles of democratic governance, emphasizing President Bola Tinubu's dedication to implementing constructive reforms aimed at revitalizing the nation's economy and bolstering security. Meanwhile, the federal government has unveiled a lineup of activities to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Democracy Day, marking 25 years of continuous democratic governance in Nigeria. The announcement was made in a notice issued by Abdul Hakim Adeoye, acting on behalf of the Director of Information and Public Relations and the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Currently, the 25th anniversary Democracy Public Day lecture is ongoing, with former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan holding sway at the lecture. Will bring you more details of that particular development as more details unfolds on the public lecture. Meanwhile, a special task force of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) is set to commence a full-scale investigation into the alleged fraud case involving former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai. VOP News understands that the task force held a long session on Monday, during which it considered the content of the ad hoc committee of the Kaduna State House of Assembly, which indicted the former governor for alleged misappropriation of 423 billion naira. According to a source quoted by the Nation newspaper, the EFCC is set to invite El-Rufai and others who worked with him during his administration for questioning. Others set to be questioned include individuals who held the position of finance commissioners between May 29, 2015 and May 29, 2023. All the accountant generals during his 8-year tenure and the chairpersons of the Kaduna State Internal Revenue Service from 2018 to 2023. Others include all former managing directors of the Kaduna Market Development and Management Company Limited within the period from May 29, 2015 to May 29, 2023, and former managing directors of Kaduna Roads Agency from October 11, 2017 to November 2021, with the exclusion of Amina Ja'afar Laden, an engineer who had a brief 1-month tenure. In another development, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has expressed sadness over the death of security personnel and villagers ambushed by bandits in Katsina State. The State Police Command's Public Relations Officer, ASP Abubakar Sadiq Aliyu, in a statement yesterday, confirmed the killing of about 20 people, including 4 police officers and 2 operatives of the state-owned Community Watch Corps by some suspected bandits. Sadiq Aliyu said the attack occurred on Sunday villages in the Kankara local government area of the state. In a statement via his X handle, Atiku expressed worry over the acts of banditry and terrorism which have become routine, with the government acting nonchalant about it despite the enormous annual budget for defense. Meanwhile, yet to be identified gunmen on Tuesday shot 2 police officers at a security checkpoint on the Owerri-Okigwe Road in Imo State. The assailants also shot another person said to be a civilian inside a house. An eyewitness who confirmed the incident to News Council area of the state. A voice in a viral video stated, "This just happened now. Unknown gunmen have shot 2 police officers at Akabo in Ikeduru local government area. Also, a civilian was shot." End quote. The video showed 2 uniformed office police officers lying helplessly on the ground and another body in a room. Residents, however, scampered for safety, while shop owners closed their shops out of fear. Meanwhile, the State Police Public Relations Officer Henry Okoye is yet to comment on the incident as of the time of filing this report. Now, the Board of Trustees of the Labour Party has expressed its apprehension regarding what it described as a gag order imposed on its 2023 presidential candidate, Peter Obi. The announcement was made through a press statement released on Monday by Emmanuel Idako, the Kogi State Publicity Secretary of the party in Lokoja. According to the Labour Party, this directives prohibits Obi from making public statements concerning the controversies surrounding the 2023 presidential election. The Labour Party described the election as having serious integrity issues, notably concerning the transmission of results from polling units to the Integrated Results Election Viewing Platform, which sparked widespread claims of irregularities. He emphasized the necessity for Peter Obi, the former governor of Anambra State, to freely discuss the past election to ensure improvements in Nigeria's electoral processes moving forward. The Labour Party has called for this matter to be addressed promptly, advocating for the preservation of democratic norms and the protection of the rights of political figures to engage openly on issues affecting national elections. Idako said that the European Union report on the presidential election stands as a comprehensive analysis and critique, serving as a paradigm for electoral processes worldwide. He stated, and I quote, "The evident shortcomings revealed during the election proceedings have cast a shadow of doubt over the integrity of our electoral system. Regrettably, the lack of transparency and accountability exhibited by the electoral management body has only fueled skepticism and disillusionment among the populace. Despite the Supreme Court's affirmation of the Election Tribunal's decision, it does not negate the glaring irregularities that mar the electoral process. The absence of a plausible explanation for the technical glitches further compounds the skepticism surrounding the election outcome." You're currently listening to the World News at 12 on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We'll take a very short break. When we return, we'll have more news and we'll be joined via the telephone with Barrister Darlington, who is a political, national and social affairs commentator. Barrister Darlington will be giving us more insights on, or rather his own comprehension of some of the stories being read out on the World News at 12. Do stay with us. Welcome back. This is still the World News at 12 and Voice of the People 90.3 FM. In more news reports, the Conference of Autonomous Ethnic Communities Development Association Youth Wing has threatened to shut down the country over the staff retrenchment exercise carried out by the Central Bank of Nigeria recently. They described the exercise as unjust, alleging that majority of the sacked workers were indigents of the North Central Geopolitical Zone. The coordinator of the Youth Wing, Mr. Paul Dekete, stated this yesterday while reacting to the staff retrenchment that took place at the Jos branch of the Apex Bank. Dekete called on President Bola Tinubu, the National Assembly, governors of the North Central and Southeastern states to intervene in the matter before it becomes too late. He reiterated that the move was a deliberate attempt to sabotage the administration of President Tinubu. According to him, statistics have shown that people within the Middle Belt and North Central Geopolitical Zone, as well as the Southeastern region, remain the most targeted without any reasons for such actions. And now it's time for us to introduce our guest in the studio, or rather who will be joining us via the telephone, and that's Barrister Darlington. One of the questions we want to ask Barrister Darlington this afternoon is concerning the Northern Youth stating that they're going to shut down Nigeria for one reason or the other because of the, would I say, reorganization going on within the Central Bank of Nigeria. Barrister Darlington, good afternoon and thank you for joining us on the World News at 12.
Good afternoon, Espan. How are you?
I am fine. I'm sure you had this particular report about Northern Youth threatening to shut down the nation because they feel that the reorientation or reorganization of the central bank currently ongoing mostly affects young persons from the north. And this brings back to the front burner whereby this particular ethnic group supposedly they feel that they should always be at the front run when it comes to any political appointment, when it comes to any public office holding, when it comes to any designation. What's your take on this, and why are they beginning to threaten to shut down Nigeria if some certain things are not done on their own behest?
Thank you, Esther. Go and check very well. They are not acting on their own. They are following the footsteps of their leaders. You remember when Tinubu wanted to bring back some branches of aviation and CBN back to Lagos?
Yes.
You remember what their leaders said? You know, you saw how they reacted. So it is the same game they are playing. They have now left it to their youth so that when they start making trouble, they will say it is youthful exuberance. Meanwhile, they are the ones who told them. How did these youth know that the organization is going on and it affected Northerners? When they appointed them, did we know? Hold on, did we know? This is how they play all these ethnic games. They are the ones destroying Nigeria, but when you ask them now, they will be looking at Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB. I think they are the problem of Nigeria. Repeatedly, these people have never wanted the unity of this country. Everything is all about themselves, selfish interest. So if they are doing the organization that will benefit the institution and what is their own there? You know that some people are just there in those places doing nothing. They just put them there to be collecting money. The same thing they are doing at NNPC, at the Kuta Sea Complex, where Northerners are 80% in number, and they are doing practically nothing, and we are paying 10 billion every month. They didn't see all those ones. I have told you, Esther, we have sold our rights. So we don't have youths here who can react against them, Abi. We don't have youths. That is what happened when you have sold your rights. When this is what's going on, and some of us are saying, they said, no, we don't want ethnic statement. We don't want tribal statement, but it is always good when Northerners play this ethnic card. It's good. They are the ones who have the right, the title, to play ethnic card, however they like it.
Barrister Darlington, I actually have other issues I actually want to speak with you about. Is the spate of insecurity currently holding sway in the country? And the worst of it is the brazenness of these activities of these nefarious terrorists. I'm not going to refer to them as bandits because they have ruined the country. Now, in a recent development, right? Militants belonging to the Islamic State-backed faction of Boko Haram, that is the Islamic State of West Africa, formerly known as Jama'at al-Asuna Idawa, they have organized a dawat in some villages in Borno. So this is what dawat means. Dawat is an act of inviting or calling people to embrace Islam. But in this particular regard, it's not about embracing Islam. They're recruiting more persons into Boko Haram. I don't want to believe that Islam encourages this deadly activities they've been carrying on. So they are trying to recruit more members into their fold. Now, there are images, right? The sect is trying to create more effort in countering the statements by the Nigerian military that they are clearing out ISWAP from most of the territories in the northeast or in the north central. And so what they're trying to do is that they gathered, right, called most members of those villages, called the Dawat program. The insurgents are appealing to the villagers to join the group as militants and support their cause to establish an Islamic caliphate. They assured these group of persons of good governance, better security, and basic amenities as soon as they had a new country. The group also distributed welfare packages to many households in a new recruitment drive. So, Barrister Darlington, if you see the picture, it was not in the night. It was in broad daylight in the afternoon. You know, this particular report is actually online. And you can see the pictures of these supposed Boko Haram members. They call these members together. The community members, the villagers are seated and listening to these guys while they are indoctrinating their pervasive doctrine on these individuals, trying to recruit them into their fold. And we have a national intelligence agency. We have our Insecurity formation. we're supposedly meant to have an intelligence gathering. These men have been perpetrating mayhem of recent back to back to prove to the Nigerian government that nothing is happening and that they cannot do anything. Barrister Darlington, why is this reoccurring? Why are we still experiencing this? Tomorrow is June 12th. How do we explain all of this in our democracy?
Thank you, Esther. You don't need to go far. As far as those 400 names that are sponsoring these guys have not been brought to book, these things will continue. Esther, it will continue even till tomorrow, even till next year. Those 400 names, except you bring them to book, these guys will continue to do what they are doing. They said that little bird is dancing by the roadside. The drummer is by the bush side. Just look around, you will see the drummer around. They cannot be acting like this if they don't have support.
Barrister Darlington, support to the detriment of more than one section of villages that comprises an entirety of the northern region. They're in broad daylight. They're recruiting members. You want to tell me that our Nigerian military men are not on ground? Let me even tell you this. Do you know that some of these military men are complaining that the weaponry they have cannot meet up with the weaponry the Boko Haram members have? That they use RPGs, rocket-propelled grenades, while they use light machine guns. They even complained that if at all they're ambushed by Boko Haram and they make a mistake to leave their weaponry behind, they'll be detained. They'll be questioned for it, meaning that their weapons will be actually more considered to be important than their lives if they run away. So if these individuals are not well equipped, how do they intend to fight Boko Haram or ISWAP? And their agenda is to establish a caliphate where we know Nigeria is a multi-ethnic and religious constituted country. So what does this mean? And where does the federal government needs to take decisive action? Where and when should they take decisive actions?
If Buhari, who is supposed to be a military general, did not do anything to them, is it true that will do something? Nothing will be done. No. As for the military, I don't believe them. If they are serious that they are not giving a superior weapon, what are they supposed to do? March to the office, march to the barracks and tell your guys that.
But you know they'll be court-martialed, right? You've heard of reports of where some of these military men express themselves. They completely lock them up and detain them. You know that, right?
Esther, they cannot lock up all of them. That means they are calling for mutiny. If they truly mean what they are saying, okay, hold on. The weapon they are using in the southeast to kill innocent people. Which weapon is that? Is that one too inferior weapon? Answer me. The weapon they are using in the southeast that they have desecrated every village in the southeast. Which weapon is that? Oh, in the southeast they give them a superior weapon, Abi, but in the north they give them inferior weapon. Is that what you're telling me? They are not serious. When they are serious, they know what to do. All this thing you are telling me now, it is from the actual and the field. Are they serious that their colleagues are dying, neglect deaths, while their guys are enjoying in the office? Yesterday, I was not yesterday or day, but you told me what happened with Bello Toruji.
Yes, Bello Toruji, yes.
In Nigeria. Didn't you hear what the Nigerian junta told him? That it is the Nigerian government that is protecting him, but over here he's not invisible. They can get him if they want to. Are you telling me that Tinubu and his secretary did not hear that? Were you not here when he was banned in Zamfara? Were you not here? State official went there to go and observe it. So what are you telling me? Look, you see this, I've said this, God will reveal what is going on one day. No evil lasts forever. You see this evil that is going on in the north that nobody wants to talk about. One day, God will reveal what is going on, and shame will be on all of them.
Barrister Darlington, there's a saying that these notorious elements, these terrorists, they exploit gaps in governance, and they use those gaps. That while they exploit it, they use it to prove that they can provide essential services in the areas under their control. What that means is that the gaps they exploit is if there is inequality, if the people are unemployed, if they're impoverished, they take advantage of these porosities in governance and promise the people otherwise. For example, in the process of the Dawat that they actually stated they were trying to recruit members, they told them that if they can work together with them to establish whatever it is they want to establish, that they would have good governance. They will no longer be hungry. They will have good food. They will eat well. They give them a lot of promises, and these are basically what the people need the government to provide. So they've been recruiting a lot of people, and they've been expanding. The expansion is still ongoing. So don't you think the Nigerian military needs to actually sit up and do something before it becomes overwhelming?
No, they will not see this. So, Esther, the military are not aware of what you are saying. No. They will never be aware. Even when they were recruiting some people after writing letter to them, and some people was recalcitrant, they remained there. When they came, what did they shot all of them and beheaded some of them for daring to disobey them. Some of them were conscripted by force to join them. Is that not true? The military are not aware. The federal government is not aware of it. That is why I am not happy with this government. Seriously, double standards. Did IPOB go this far? Have you heard or seen where IPOB is doing this type of thing in the Southeast? Please, somebody should tell me. That's what we are talking about. Every time we name the Carlo, this security. They forgot that if not for those people, what they are doing in Denver and the Plateau would have been a chance play compared to what they want to do in the Southeast. If not for IPOB that is protecting the people, it would have been worse. That's why they get them a bad name in order to hang them. IPOB can never do this type of law. They will never try it.
But Barrister Darlington, we're not using this avenue to advocate for that group, but we're trying to see how the insecurity in the country.
You said insecurity. They said Nnamdi is the problem of Nigeria. I want to compare notes here.
Barrister Darlington. In Imo State too, 2 police officers were shot down just today, this morning, and it happened at 6:25 a.m. What I'm trying to talk about is the prevailing brazenness of these nefarious individuals carrying out their activities with no apprehension taken. But let's look at Uche Naji, the Minister for Innovation, Science and Technology. He's currently in the midst of a major scandal after he used a forged National Youth Service Corps certificate to secure confirmation as a minister. Now, he disclosed that he is committed to President Bola Tinubu's power initiatives. So the question now is, like his principal, right, Mr. Tinubu, who was also embroiled in certificate forging scandal after it was confirmed that he submitted fake Chicago State University diploma to INEC, well, others are saying that possibly that's why Mr. Nnaji feels confident to show support to the president, despite being in the supposed controversy of having to, tender a forged certificate. What's your take on this development? What's your take on this news?
Let Tinubu sack him now, Abi.
But he just disclosed his dedication to the president.
No. Is he not the one that appointed him?
Yes.
So when he heard this type of scandal, is he supposed to condone it? I'm waiting for Tinubu to condone this and say, no, it doesn't matter. I'm waiting for him to do that. That's when I will now make my comments.
Is the president supposed to say something, or maybe the justice minister or the EFCC, if this man is still embroiled in a major scandal after he used a forged National Youth Service Corps certificate to secure confirmation as a minister? The House of Reps, they know, the presidency knows about this, is still within that particular scandal, but he just declared his support to the president's power initiative program. So that's why netizens are asking. Of course, he would want to show support to the president because the president was also embroiled in something related to this. So the question now is, would it be that such attitudes or behaviors will be permitted within the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? And how does this speak? How does this actually portray his administration in the next 3 years?
It is said that when you tell me your friends, I will tell you whom you are. What do you think Tinubu will do? For him to even open his mouth and say he has support for Tinubu, what does that tell you? They are best of the same feather now, so there's nothing that will come out of it, though. Nothing. Seriously. That's why he declared support for him.
All right.
Is there not?
Barrister Darlington,
Is there
finally,
not
before I let you
asking to
go,
leave?
the Board of Trustees of the Labour Party has expressed its apprehension regarding what it describes as a gag order on the 2023 presidential candidate in the Labour Party, Peter Obi. They made an announcement through a press statement which was released on Monday, and that was by the Kogi State Publicity Secretary of the party in Lokoja. So they are saying that there are directives prohibiting Peter Obi from making public statements concerning the controversy surrounding the 2023 presidential elections. You recall that just a few days ago, Peter Obi was able to categorically state that the 2023 presidential elections was filled with a lot of irregularities. In fact, he said it was a shame when he made its comparison to the just concluded elections in South Africa. What's your take on this supposed gag order on Peter Obi?
Who is even the guy that is speaking? On whose authority is he telling Peter Obi not to talk? Are we not in a democracy? The one that is happening under his nose there, has he sorted it out?
No, they say that they don't allow him, whenever he tries to freely discuss matters relating to the 2023 elections, that people begin to raise dust from nowhere. He begins to get criticisms from all angles. Meanwhile, he's not the only political candidate who actually makes or expresses his observations about what transpired in the 2023 elections.
Is the man a Labour Party man?
Yeah, there is Labour Party that is expressing concerns about the fact that there is a supposed gag order on Peter Obi for having to express what he thinks, expediently on the 2023 elections. You know that he actually stated that.
That's what I'm asking you. The man that said he should not make comment, who is the person? Is he God or what? I don't understand. Who is he?
Well, the Labour Party is asking for the matter to be addressed promptly. They are calling for the preservation of our democratic reforms and norms and
anybody can say anything. Do you think Peter Obi will listen to him? The only time he can make noise is Peter Obi is saying what is not true. But if it is the truth, then if he doesn't want to hear the truth, he should close his ears when Peter Obi is talking. That's the only thing he can do. He can't stop the moon from shining now. It's not possible.
All right.
If the guy is from Kogi State, he has enough in his hands over there now. Let him produce his principal, former governor. We are looking for him.
All right, Barrister Darlington, thank you so much. We've actually run out of time. We have another program coming up in the next 2 minutes. Thank you for taking your time to share a perspective on the World News at 12.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. To wrap up here again are the top stories. Federal government declares Wednesday, June 12 public holiday. EFCC begins investigation and El-Rufai set to invite former governor. Atiku reacts as bandits ambush patrol team kill security agents and residents in Katsina. Panic in Imo as unknown gunmen shoot 2 police officers, including a civilian, and Labour Party concerned over alleged gag order on Peter Obi. That's a wrap on the World News at 12. My name is Esther Mwachiko. Do join us tomorrow, June 12, for an in-depth review of Nigeria's democracy with VOP's news team, where we get to give more in-depth analysis on our democracy from time and what the way forward will be. Do stay with us.